Hey guys, I'm back today with another brand ambassador video. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about the Chinese language. Now, something I've noticed with a lot of our teachers is there's a little bit of a question about what did they actually say to me, either a parent in the classroom or a student or a ticket agent or our fireman. And we have to remember that we are talking two different languages here. And sometimes it can get a little bit funny to look at the translations of things. Always be careful, just FYI. Be careful on Google Translate. Sometimes it can really give you the wrong words, and we don't want that to happen. So let's dive right in. The Chinese language is super, super literal, okay? So it's very succinct and it's very to the point. So when we are interacting with each other, we have to be careful because when we're talking to someone, we might hear what seems to be a little bit offensive the way they said it. Chinese language can come across in the translation as a little bit rude because they don't use the same amount of words and the same phrases that we do. So the English to Chinese translation can get things a little bit jumbled, and it comes off to the American native speaker as a little bit rude. A couple of these are words like, it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. This is the actual translation for what we would be thinking is no problem. So a Chinese person might say to you, oh, it doesn't matter. And you would think, like, I just ticked them off, right? But really what they're saying is no problem. It's okay, no problem. But it can come across to you and me as a negative when really what they mean is something good. They're just saying, don't worry about it. It's okay. The words never mind are words that are often used for it's going to be okay. It's not a big problem. But for you and me, a lot of times when we use those words, it's like, never mind. You know, that's what comes to my mind when I hear those words, never mind. I think of whatever. All right, fine. Never mind. Right? Like throwing my hand up, looking at the person like, but really what they're saying is it's not a big problem. It's not a big thing. It's okay. Let's move on to the next thing. And they literally mean that in their minds when they're talking to you. We say things in big sentences. We use all these crazy amounts of words, and I'm very guilty of that. And they use very, very few words in their sentences. A classic example is me saying to my friend on the phone, hi, so I will come to your house about 6 tonight for dinner. Is that okay? And I hear, how? Like, you sure? Everything okay? And they go, how? They're just meaning like, yeah, that's fine. Yep, that's good. That's what I want. But I'm waiting for, sure, that's great. I can't wait to see you at 6 o'clock. That will be great. And they just don't talk that way. They literally say yes or no, done. Okay, so flip the table on that. If my friend was asking me, can I come to your house at 6 o'clock for dinner tonight? She would not say all of those words. She would say, 6 o'clock, arrive, good, bad. That's the literal translation for what she would say to me. And then I would say, good, or I would say, bad, right? So I would say, how, good, or, how, not good. Okay, so she is literally saying to me, can I come at 6 o'clock? Is that a good time? But she's only using 3 or 4 words, whereas we're using 2 sentences to say the same thing. So we have to be careful with these parents, and especially if you're reading messages and then putting it into the translator, you're going to lose the context. And guys, the context is super, super important. You have to understand the culture behind the words. The culture isn't being rude to you. The culture is just not a wordy culture. And last but not least, a Chinese person won't always tell you something directly. Okay, so they may not tell you, I'd like to look for another teacher. They may not tell you, my student is thinking maybe he'll take 3 different teachers instead of you every week 3 times. They probably will just say, oh, I couldn't see your schedule, or, oh, it isn't working in my schedule. They won't tell you that. They are not going to come directly to you on that. They're going to dance around that issue a little bit. And I think we all do that, right? Americans do that too, right? It's just not going to work out for me, when in reality, I don't really want to go. So I would just say, oh, it's not going to work out, or I'm busy. A very classic statement for a Chinese person is simply to say, I have business. They aren't going to go into detail about what that is. Now, you and I, we might say, I have to go and be somewhere else with my child during that time. And they would just say, I have business. And that's it. And then you have this dead space where as an American, you're listening and thinking, okay, I'm waiting for the explanation of that. But they're not going to give you the explanation for that because in their culture, that's accepted. That's it. I have business. Done. And so we have to remember that those succinct statements that we get, there's no rudeness behind it. There's no attempt to be unkind. It really simply is not understanding what their thinking is, or they're not getting the same meaning that we get with the words that they choose. And so we have to remember that and be patient. Be patient with our Chinese speaking staff and with our parents and our students, and understand that there might be some things that are lost in translation. And that includes using a translator. Okay. There will be things that are lost if you use Google Translate or WeChat Translate. You're not going to get the same meaning that is intended by the speaker. So remember that when we're interacting. All right. I just thought I would bring that up today because it's something super important for us as we navigate the waters of working with an international company. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe below. Let me know, what are some things you've heard or seen and you wondered, what did they mean by that? What was that? We all have them, I know. But if we work together as a team, we can do great. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.